Okay, we are in Kilayim Perek Tet, Mishnah Tet, second to last Mishnah in Masechet Kilayim. Mishnah says, we're going to continue talking about different types of combinations or associations between wool and linen, which are prohibited in different kinds of ways. Says the Mishnah, Levadim Asurim, Bibnei Shem Shu'im. Shu'im, you'll notice, if you remember, we learned yesterday, the word Shatnez is a sort of an acrostic of Shua Taveh Nuz. Shua is srika, is combing. Taveh is tvia, is spinning. And nuz is a larger spinning, but we learned that machloket yesterday. So shua here refers to srika, refers to a certain kind of combing. So the Mishnah is talking about levadim. Let's look at the bartenura for a second. Levadim is semer taruf below tvia va'ariga. You just took a bunch of wool and you pressed it together. Okay? And it was a kind of process that they used without having the tvia, without having the spinning or the ariga, the weaving. And they made it into a garment. If you squish, press temer, wool and linen together, and you made them clothes, asuri midirabanan. That's all. It's asur midirabanan. That's what it means. Levadim asurim, and asur here means dirabanan. Ibnei shem shu'im, because this is the bartenura explains. It's only dirabanan. Remember, because we said it would only be a deoraita if it was all shui tavei v'nuz, srika, tvia, and tviat chut'av, right? If you had all this whole process. But if you only had shua, if you only had the combing of the material, then it would only be aser dirabanan. Okay, and the point is that these levadim are asurim because when they would press the wool and linen together, but then they would have to comb it in order to make it usable. So therefore it's levadim, this pressed wool and linen are prohibited mibnei shem shu'im, because they're combed together, but they're only asur midurabanan and not midoraita. Mishnah continues, piv shel tzemer b'shel pishtam asur mibnei shem chozrin ke'arig. Let's look again at the bartenura. Piv shel tzemer b'shel pishtam ha'orgim, the weavers, achar shemashlimim habeged, after they complete the garment, regilim la'asot al sfato, they make on the edge shlosha v'arba'a chutim, 3 or 4 threads, al thick threads, kadesh kama beged. So they're making a sort of hem on the outside in order to make sure that when they do the weaving, of course, they're going to have threads at the outside, because otherwise it would just fall apart. So that's called the piv shel tzemer b'shel pishtan. That's if you make a beged, if you wove a beged of pishtan, of flax, then you couldn't use the threads around it of tzemer. That's called piv. And of course the other way around. Why? They besavavin et ha'arig. Chozrin means, in this context, the bartenura says, it circumvents the arig, it goes around the woven. Where it looks like it's woven in. It's a connecting, it's part of the beged, so therefore it's prohibited. That's piv shel tzemer b'shel pishtan asur ne'shem chozrin la'arig. Rabbi Yossi Omer. Rabbi Yossi says, Mishichot shel argaman asura. Mishichot are strips of argaman. Argaman, remember, we learned, is dyed wool. Okay, you're not allowed to use them in order to, let's say you have a linen bathrobe or a linen, I don't know, long robe or a bekashar or whatever. Okay, asurot, it's prohibited to use mishichot shel argaman, a belt made of dyed wool, because if you use regular belt, you're not mixing together, you're just tying one over the other. What's the big deal? But the point is, as we all know, on your belt of your bathrobe, you have these 2 loops. Molel means you make a loop, achelo kosher, because otherwise it would fall off the beged before you could tie it. The way the bartenura explains, because you connect them b'melila. Melila is a temporary sewing. So I said loops. So obviously, if you made the loops, it'd be prohibited. But here, that you would tie them with a sort of, you would just they would tie them together. They would sort of sew them together in order to make sure that the belt wouldn't fall off, similar to the way we do it now. And therefore, molel kosher. Therefore, it's considered a connection and it's prohibited, even if it's not a permanent connection. Lo shoshem sevet shel tzemer. A strip, you should not tie a strip of tzemer, of wool, b'shel pishtan, to get with flax, lachgorbo et matnav, to gird your loins. Af al pisha ritzuah be'emsa. You want to make a belt to gird your loins, and you can't tie them together. It's obvious. But let's say I have a strip in the middle. I have my belt, which is leather, and I want to tie one end with semer and one end with pishtim. Okay, because the way that they would tie, I guess, is we have belt buckles. But I guess one way they would tie them is that the belt you liked having the leather belt because it holds up nicely. But you wanted to be able to tie it together to hold the belt. So if you didn't have a metal belt bucket, I guess this is what they did. They used belts in that way that they would connect it. They would sew on the ritzuah. They would sew on with some kind of piece of cloth together. And the Bartenura explains, a person shouldn't make a belt of semer and belt of flax and tie them together, even if the ritzuah is together. That's exactly what he said, that it's a leather belt with a strip of flax on one side, a linen on one side, and a strip of wool on the other. When you tie yourself in it, when you put up the belt, okay, and you're going to tie them together, okay? Because otherwise, he says, because if you weren't going to tie them together, pshita should be permitted. He says everybody is if you were going to tie it together, then it wouldn't be a problem, because there's no problem am I wearing a linen undergarment and a wool garment on top. Everybody does it every day. That's not shatnez at all. Problem is when you tie them actually together, then it's a problem of shatnez, but only midrabanan. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, as always, feel free to contact me at, here we go, arspoter@gmail.com. We'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.